Good afternoon, my friends. Welcome to the British Esports Association, and for our first of our Game Advisor Takeover segment. My name is Layla, aka TamashiiKanjou, and this girl will be coming to you live with some Splatoon 2 shenanigans. I hope you're all looking forward to it. There's a little bit there, but no pressure. It's the first time we are doing something like this. So a massive shout out and thanks to those behind the scenes at the BEA for allowing me to do this. Never mind being the first one to do so. So hopefully I won't let you down, and hopefully we have ourselves a good time all round. So if you don't know who I am, I'm a streamer. Obviously I'm a streamer. But on top of that, I'm also an esports caster. I've been casting for Splatoon 2 for 2 years now. I started early 2018. Just doing a few community things for groups like Nintendo Players UK. And then that escalated quite rapidly, it must be said. And then got the chance to cast for the Splatoon 2 UK Championships of 2018. Got to do the qualifiers at Insomnia and at EGX before being asked to help with the grand finals themselves. And I got to do that alongside Barry Alexander, aka Barry the Hero. And was just a monumental moment in my life, and very much established the thing of I wanted to do this going forward no matter what. So last year I've been dabbling in a couple more games as well, but you never forget where you started, and my love for Splatoon, I hopefully will be able to show it today, not just with what I do, but what the community is able to do, because it's been a rough ride, it must be said, over the past few months whilst we've been waiting for more information, especially with what has been currently going on. So but we'll talk about that a little bit later on. So so yeah, just seeing everybody just pinging on in the chat. It's good to see you all here, and hopefully you all enjoy yourselves. So what can you expect from this stream? Well, we're going to talk about Splatoon a fair bit. Obviously, you're here to see gameplay, and we are here to showcase what the Splatoon 2 community can do. But not just that, but also what the current UK Championship scene is like. Because obviously, with it being on a bit of a hiatus for the time being, all of the teams involved are still itching and raring to go and be able to show what they can do on stream, and this is going to be a brilliant opportunity for them to do so. We've got 4 of the currently 7 qualified teams who will be battling out in 2 best-of-5 showcase matches, and hopefully you'll all be looking forward to that. It's going to be Release the Kraken versus Cosmos. That will start us ourselves off with. We'll have an interview with a member of each team after the match is done, and then our second match will be Dreadnoughts versus Drunken Sailors. And again, same goes there. We'll have another interview with 2 members from the teams right afterwards. And then, if we have time, we'll have a special showcase turf war match where we take 1 member from each team, put them on one team, to go up against pretty much the same composition on the other side. So it'll be a little bit of fun. And that way we get to show you all of the 5 main modes in Splatoon 2 on the stream, and also talk about what has been happening in terms of the UK scene since Splatoon started, where it's at now, and hopefully where we can take it going forward. So first and foremost, what is Splatoon? Well, Splatoon is a third-person shooter with a little bit of a twist, a little bit of a change of pace from what you'd normally expect from the kind of shooter genre. First and foremost, it's very family friendly. You're either an Inkling or you're an Octoling. You have a variety of weapons in the game with which you are able to turf the ground. And it's probably a really good way of being able to show you what that looks like with a little bit of footage. So let's just show you the footage right now, shall we? Just so you can get an idea of what it looks like. So this is from Splatoon 1. This was a few years back. Splatoon 1 came out in May 2015 on the Wii U. This is what it looked like, and you get the general gist of what's happening here. So you've got weapons, you've got a variety of weapons which you can use to ink the ground, you can change into a squid or into an octoling form and be able to swim much faster and also make jumps that you maybe wouldn't be able to do in humanoid form. You've got charges, you've got specials that you can use when you power up. Ignore the Kraken, that's from Splatoon 1, because everything changes in Splatoon 2. We got a lot of different specials, we got more gear in the game, it just looks so much more polished. You can easily see this already, so... But the core never changed from Splatoon 1 to Splatoon 2. Turf was still the most important thing in this game. Yes, you can get splats, which is eliminations against your opposition, but crucially, the core stays the same. You ink turf, you charge up your specials that way, you're able to cover ground, you hinder your enemy by having turf in your color. You get the general idea. It's pretty easy and it's very straightforward, and there are 5 key modes in this game mode. Turf War is one of them. The other modes are ranked modes, so they're a bit more competitive. So you'll have Splat Zones, which essentially is a condensed Turf War. You're fighting over a specific zone. You've got Tower Control, where if you hop on a tower, the tower will move. It plays a nice little ice cream jingle whilst it does so. So you get the general idea. Here's Tower Control. This is one of the matches from the UK Championships of 2018. This was winning semi-finals versus Sirens and Mako. Mako are the reigning champions, as a heads up. Sirens, another very good team. Unfortunately, they've disbanded. I think they disbanded in February, I do believe, at Winter Breeze, which is a shame because some of the players on there were absolutely amazing. I do believe Conroe is still playing and will be playing with Cosmos later today. So Conroe hasn't gone anywhere. You've got the Inkjet. That's one of the specials. You gotta love the rapid fast pace of any and all of these modes, and it's exactly as intense as you think it would be. You've got Clamblets, which has little tiny clams. You can gather those into 10, which gives you a football. You can throw that at an enemy base. It breaks it up, and then you've got Rainmaker, which hang on, force the rest of Gloucester back as we enter 30 seconds to go, and you see what London's plan is right now. Oh no! Oh no! Manny has got it! But we've got to disconnect as the Julies have gone down. But if Manny can push this all the way up, this would be a monumental shock. He's right there! Oh my god! It's a KO! It's a KO! What? Do not scratch your eyes! You are really seeing the most extraordinary finish there! I forgot about that. And that was taken from the Nintendo Players UK Squid League competition. That was a competition run by Nintendo Players UK, one of the community groups. That was during the, I think that was during the actual tournament set towards the end of the Squid League, so they'd already qualified through. It was London 1 versus Gloucestershire. Gloucestershire were like 3-0 down. They scored a point in the previous set, and then Rainmaker happened, and... yeah, Rainmaker happened. Last 30 seconds. Arshimon disconnected, but it's okay. It's okay, because just Manny took it all the way to the podium, and that was absolutely ridiculous. And Rainmaker is the mode where literally anything can happen. Literally anything can happen. It just... There's a lot of modes where you can and will come back into things, but none are as dramatic as the Rainmaker matches can be, because yeah, it's just so good. You can go 4.5 minutes and be in the lead and absolutely cruising, and everything can change in the last 30 seconds. It happens in Turf War, it can happen in any game mode, and just like some competitive games out there, there is an overtime segment if the enemy are currently pushing and they are behind, which makes it just a little bit more special, and everybody knows, everybody knows that overtime is just a dramatic place to be in, and it's nerve-wracking, especially when you're the ones going into overtime with the lead, because it's like, can we not lose this fight now? But I think every competitor knows exactly what that feels like, but you get the general idea. So hopefully that's a quick rundown of what the game is about. Obviously I can talk you through a lot more of the action as we see it happen, because obviously we'll be broadcasting some matches a little bit later on. So let us just quickly run you through a little bit of a special showcase, shall we? So, like I said, Splatoon 1 existed back in May 2015. A full year after its release, we had the Summer of Splat, which culminated in the Great British Splatover, as you can see here. It was held in London. It was an event where we had 2 tournaments taking part. We had the Octa League, which was streamed. That was for serious, ranked, competitive shenanigans. And then we had the Inkling League, which I took part in. And this is a picture that I took of me sitting in the booth. And yes, it is one of those soundproof booths. It is exactly what you'd expect. It was a surreal moment to be in there. We got to the finals. I wonder if I could just quickly pause this for just a moment. Can I pause this? I don't think I'm going to be able to pause this. So if I just quickly reset this, thank you. Just going to reset that. Just to quickly do something. I don't get the chance to show this off that much. But I took part in the Inkling League. And I have one of these to show for it. This isn't just a plaque to say that I got runner-up. And that was a surprise in and of itself, because I didn't think that I was going to do it. I tried to qualify for the Octa League, failed miserably, and so managed to get in at the last second. I see a lot of hydrate commands coming up. Don't worry, I got my juice. And don't worry, I got my posture as well. Don't worry. But this isn't just special for me in the terms of I got the runner-up plaque. I got this about a month or so after I came out. Because I'm a girl. And I hadn't came out yet. So this is doubly important. The reason why I have 2 is because I convinced my wife to take part as a player, and she isn't really a competitive player at all. So the fact that I got to the finals with my wife in the same team was very, very special for me, and I still can't fathom the fact that that actually happened. So I have tried to take part in competitions before, but it's just one of those things. It's just, yeah, it's very special to me. Of that, there is no doubt. So yeah, and obviously that was my first interaction with Barry as well, because he was casting the entire thing, both on terms of the Octa League and also afterwards for the Inkling League, which wasn't streamed. So yeah, it was a massive moment, and that was my first foray into the community in general. Like, that was literally my first go into. Next year we got Splatoon 2 released, and with that there was pretty much a quickly thrown in regional qualifier, and there was a few other qualifiers mixed in there, culminating at EGX 2017 for the first Splatoon 2 UK Championship. That was held in the ESL segment of EGX. ESL allowed Nintendo to hop on up there. You've got the plaques up there. That's a shot of the fans, so everybody was incredibly invested. Pay no attention to the parasol on the right of your screen. I totally wasn't in cosplay, and I totally didn't use the fact that the Splat Bella had just been recently introduced to use that to show off the fact that I had a parasol. I ad-libbed that massively, and you can see Barry in the back there as well doing his usual commentary gig. And that is a picture of 4D. One of the main teams, one of the main focuses of the championships, they won the Octa League, but they were knocked out in the semi-finals of this respective competition. I think they were knocked out by Mako, I think it was. And Mako went on to win the UK Championship of that year. Going forwards, we then go into 2018, and throughout that, the UK Championship was massive. Every qualifier that was held, whether it was at Insomnia or it was at EGX again, they were streamed and showcased to the world. And the grand finals, they took place at MCM Birmingham, which I had the privilege of being able to cast. And again, the turnout for it got bigger and bigger, it seemed. So, and on top of that, there was so much excitement. There was a lot happening. It covered 2 days instead of it just being a one-day event, and it was great from start to finish. And yeah, I still can't thank Nintendo UK and Barry enough. And unfortunately, Splash, if you're watching, I had to put in the after image of your team's defeat to Donald Gamers. They took it all the way into overtime in Rainmaker and unfortunately just missed out, and Splash just couldn't believe it. But yeah, it's good to see the Sailors there, and they're good to see that they're still swinging around as well. Mako remained the UK Championships, but crucially, you see this person on the left here? That's Nagami. That's the person who is behind Splatoon 2 in and of itself. So he was actually there the whole weekend, and the fact that I got to meet him and also be able to show the plaques to him was just, again, it was just a monumental moment. That in turn takes us into the European Championships. Now, there were the European Championships last year, but again, 2019, it was just so much bigger, and Mako got their own respective jerseys. They got the UK flag on there. It was great to see. These photos were taken by Octoboy. Octoboy is a great photographer, a great video editor, and he does a whole variety of things, and that's what they were fighting for, that trophy and some very special Pro Controllers, and also qualification to the World Championships, which took place at E3. Yes, the E3. That's where the World Championships took place. Again, they took place the previous year as well. But the UK scene didn't stop there. It didn't slow down at all, and for the first time in our history, we managed to run our own Splatoon 2 LAN event called Breeze. And there was a lot of people getting involved with that. A lot of fun was had. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to go there. Again, Octoboy got there, so missed the chance to see Octoboy yet again. I will meet him one day. It will happen. But again, the community just came together. We were able to make an amazing tournament. Memories that will probably last for such a long time. And it's always a good chance to be able to just gather and just meet over something that we all love and cherish. On top of that, because of how successful it was and because of how much people wanted to see it again, we got a second one, and that was in February of 2020. That was the last Splatoon event that we had. It still feels a bit weird saying that, unfortunately, but that is, again, how we are currently living at the moment. So, but again, there's so many things in this community that we can both do, not just as fans, but as competitive players, that we can showcase that so nicely between everything. And again, Winterland was an absolutely amazing moment as well. And that time round, I was able to not only be there, but I was also able to provide commentary on the event as well. So again, it was just, to everybody who was behind the scenes working on the organization, I know Dude was running all over the place on that day. But just so many people, and obviously on top of that, these LAN events aren't just there for, like, you know, the competition side of things. People go in there into cosplay like any other convention. People sell their own stuff that they create and make. I know Donut, also from Team 4D, she was selling her wares there as well. So it was just like, it is essentially our own little convention, and we made it ours, and it was absolutely amazing. I know a lot of people made fun of the fact that our setup on the main stage was a little bit risky, but it's okay. Nobody did anything silly, so we were fine. But that just goes to show you, like, that just gives you a nice sample, a nice taste of what the community in general is able to do, let alone the community here in the UK. And obviously, that's just all the stuff that's been happening IRL. Like I mentioned, as you saw in the previous clip, there is the Nintendo Players UK Squid League. That started off, I think that was in 2018 that started off. That was its first league run. That started off as just a monumental, like, a monumental Swiss, essentially. Everybody fought everyone. It was just a massive league. And then I think it was like the top 12 who qualified for their own tournament. I think it was single elimination, and it went from there. Last year was the second one. That segment was into group stages. I think it was 4 groups. The top 2... Is it the top 2 or the top 3? I forget which one it was, but basically the top teams qualified for a single elimination tournament to decide the overall winner. And then the lower teams went into their own bracket to try and have like a runner-up tournament of their own, which was also pretty fun, it must be said. And then this year, there's another one currently happening, except this time round, we've got 2 completely different brackets, both with 2 groups each. So it was you know, that action is still going on, and you know, massive shout out to Nintendo Players UK, because they were the first group to give me the chance to do commentary, so for that I can't thank them enough. But now, without further ado, I think, yep, pause the check, sorry. Without further ado, let's quickly mention what's been happening so far in the 2019-2020 UK Championship. This is the graphic as it stands. Now, Team Mako and Team 4D, they get automatic buys into the grand finals of the UK Championship, because Team Mako, for starters, they are the reigning UK champions. They got the title in 2017, they defended it in 2018, they hope to defend it again, make it a 3-time run. Team 4D, obviously they got to the grand finals, they go through on a bye as well. The first team to qualify were Drunken Sailors. They qualified at Insomnia at 65. Unfortunately, the event was not streamed, the same goes for EGX. The next team to qualify, released the Krakens. They qualified via the ESL Online Qualifier. That was the first one done for that. ESL allowing us to have some qualifier segments, and it was very appreciated. I'm glad they decided to do that. Unfortunately, the first two qualifiers were not streamed either. It's been a bit more of a quieter year in terms of live content, but it's still been a lot of fun. Pink Pixies were the next team. They qualified at EGX. Cosmos were through on the second online qualifier, and the third qualifier, that one was streamed, and I had the privilege of having Donut alongside me to co-cast that one. That is all done on my stream, I think it was. And yeah, Dreadnoughts got the 7th spot. Now, unfortunately, Mako passed on the opportunity, and I didn't hear back from 4D, and I think Pixies had to drop out as well. So, but it's okay. We've still got 4 of the 7 teams here today, and those teams are Drunken Sailors, Release the Kraken, Cosmos, and recently qualified Dreadnoughts. They are going to be the ones who are providing you the entertainment for today. Our matches will be done in best of 5 sets. We will try and showcase each mode where we can, and obviously we'll do a little bit of turf war towards the end if we have the time. So, and obviously you note that the main tag of the panel is Splatoon 2 European Championship. The previous couple of years, it was always just fully promoting the fact that it was the UK Championship, whereas this year they decided to go, okay, let's actually plaster on the fact that this is part of the European Championship, and obviously do the little subtitle below, which is all good because everybody knows that if they win their respective regions, they're into the European Championships, and you know Nintendo like to put on a show of that, there will be no doubt. So once we get more information, it will be great to see what we can all do, and hopefully we can have ourselves a whale of a time as a result. Now, without further ado, I think we should start getting some people in here now, shouldn't we? Whilst I quickly give you another rundown of what each mode will be doing. This is what the lobby looks like. If I had it loaded, that's better. So yeah, the reason why it's been on a bit of a hiatus at the moment, obviously for those of you who do not know, the current situation means that a lot of conventions have unfortunately stopped running. That includes where we were originally going to run the finals. It's actually quite amusing that each year we ran the finals at a different event. The first time round, the finals was at EGX. The second time round was at MCM Birmingham. The third time was supposed to be at Insomnia back in April, but again, because of everything that's been currently happening, everything's been delayed and pushed back. The last ditch qualifier, because you saw that 8th tab being open there, that was also going to happen at the event itself, but again, that qualifier spot hasn't been covered because Insomnia didn't happen. So whilst we wait for further news as to when that last ditch qualifier will be and when we will actually play the finals, we'll have to just sit back and just be like, okay, we got our 7 teams, let's see what we can do with them instead. So we are going to send word to our wonderful teams who are currently in the back that they may now start coming in. So Release the Kraken versus Cosmos will be our first match to go. Now, in terms of what we will be playing. We will not be doing any turf war. Generally, best of fives. Generally, in a tournament situation, turf war is not on the list. The only exception are some groups who like to throw it on there. I know Nintendo Players UK with their Squid League like to put turf war in the rotation. They do best of nines as a result to make up for that. But we'll be focusing on our 4 main competitive modes, which are Clan Blitz, Tower Control, Splat Zones, and Rainmaker. We won't start with Rainmaker because if we do, there might be a chance I blow my voice out on the first go round, and nobody would like that. Nobody would like that. So we will start. We'll start off relatively easy. Let's start with Splat Zones. Now we have a lot of stages. Now a lot of people do have complaints about certain stages and certain combinations, or just certain stages in general, and a lot of people have their own set lists for it. A lot of people have their own rule sets going in. Having said that, we're not going to do that. We're just going to go in, we're going to hope for the best. I say hope for the best. I know roughly what I'm doing, and to be fair, I know which stages are generally okay with Splat Zones. Splat Zones is generally fine on a variety of different stages, and I would like to show you as many stages as possible on this stream. I can't show you everything, so I'm generally operating on my little mindset rule that I don't duplicate stages, because we've got potentially 10 matches to do. It could end at 3-0, you never know. So yeah, Splat Zones, not Moray Mouths, don't worry, I'm gonna get to Moray, but it's not gonna be on Splat Zones. We are going to have Splat Zones, and we are going to have Splat Zones start off on Humpback Pump Track. So as you can see, everyone is queuing in at the moment. I can give you a roll call as we get there. Also, on top of the fact, if you didn't know, Splatoon has a variety of merch that you are able to purchase. We have Amiibo, which provide functionality, which basically means that you can save your respective gear, you can create outfits in the game, and you can also create abilities. There are a variety of different abilities in the game that do different things. You've got Sub-Saver, which essentially it saves the amount of ink that you would otherwise have to use throwing your sub-weapons, which are stuff like grenades, beacons, and mines. You got Ink Saver Main, which does the same thing but for your main weapon. Special Charge Up helps you charge a special up a little bit quicker. You've got Respawn Punisher, which if you ever see it happen on screen, if you ever see anyone with Respawn Punisher, you have to say ew at it because it's disgusting. But seriously though, you've got plenty of Amiibo. Obviously Marie is the best one. You've got Marina as well. Marie from Squid Sisters, Marina from Off the Hook. Whoever spams Booyah more wins. I mean, it's a strategy, and you have to do it for the Booyah Bomb. You've got plushies. I mean, I've got Kamiko. A lot of people out there in the community sometimes name their characters. I named mine. This is Kamiko. I named her since Splatoon 1, and I've never looked back. And the community can even put together stuff like fan-made instruction booklets. So it just literally just like gives you a little indication of what each mode does, which is really nice. That's the Salmon Run picture. You got a whole lot of different logos and everything. It's really nice, and again, showcasing it because there's my squid. My squid made it in a booklet because of course she did. But seriously though, there's a lot of stuff that is. There's a lot of content out there, whether it be official or whether it be fan made. There's just so much stuff out there that, you know, we all have fun with it. So, Humpback Pump Track, Splat Zones. As you can see, I think everybody is good and ready to go. We will have Release the Kraken on the Alpha team, which is Epsi, Geo, Spid, and Prior. And for Cosmo, we will have Cosmos. We'll have Cool Dude, Snipes, Icarus, and Conroe. I hope you are all sitting comfortably. This should be a lot of fun. Now for Splat Zones, like I said, it's a condensed turf war. There'll be a zone right in the middle. It's essentially like King of the Hill. It's essentially just the easiest way to explain it. Once you have enough ink covered, you will capture that zone and a timer will start ticking down. If you get to 0, it's a KO and you win. If nobody has won by the time 5 minutes has expired, whoever is the closest to 0 wins. As simple as that. Overtime can happen. You never know how it'll go. On top of which, you might see that there is a bar down here in the bottom right corner. Now, for those of you who don't know, the National Video Game Museum is going through an absolute crisis at the moment. Anything that you can help to put forward to help cover the costs of what is currently going on over there would be greatly appreciated. And as you can see, all subs, bits and cheers are also being donated their way as well. For additional information, feel free to click on the links that you can see in the chat. Like I said, anything would be greatly appreciated. So without further ado, let's get into the game. Release the Kraken in the yellow, Cosmos in the blue, and away we go for our first match of the day. And you can already see a variety of different weapons. We've got 2 Kenza Dynamos on the sign of Release the Kraken, and you can see the ink is already fine and covered into the yellow side, but quickly fired on back. Coldly with the Nautilus, much more shorter range Splatling. Fires off incredibly quickly, and you could charge back up, but they are going to lose out in the 1v1 to Spid on this occasion. Spid with the Suction Bomb and Tenta Missile combination with that Kenza Splatter Shot. They've got it charged up, so they have to back up a little bit if they want to make sure they can fire it off without being taken out. They do fire it, single it out onto Cool Dude. It's going to take 10 missiles. They're going to have to move away. They do so. Had income, so they could at least buffer it out just a little bit. And the Booyah Bomb also going to be very crucial to recapturing that zone. Ball are going to come out, forces everybody to back up. But Cool Dude, wrong place, wrong time, and is actually caught out rotating just a little bit too far forward. And Spid will crucially get the assist and retake the zone for Release the Kraken. Another Booyah Bomb coming straight back up and just trying to force the rest of Cosmos to stay inside their own spawn area. It can sometimes feel like you're being absolutely choked whilst you're in this area and you just can't seem to get out. Cool Dude gets the crucial 1v1 pick. They're still 3 alive on that zone, and on 20 seconds on that timer, they've got to find a way of tipping it over ASAP. Booyah Bomb will help stop it, and Icarus with the quick fire and turf weapon will get it back under control. Epsi, however, is going to try and throw it, but actually gets rinsed completely. The armor of the Booyah Bomb not protecting them in the slightest, and they got taken out before they could throw it. And just like that, the tide has turned, and now it's Cosmos who have control. You can see the penalty points are applied onto the side of the Kraken. And they're going to have to find a way to push back up here. Booyah Bomb is going to come out from Epsi, this time a little bit more safer launch. And they do actually take control as a result of that, but they are going to get taken down again by the Nautilus of Cool Dude. You saw how many splats they got in that Squid League match. Expect to see them get something close to that once they start getting the ball rolling with the Nautilus. Control back in their favor. They've got some penalty points to run through, but the Nautilus again just keeping things at bay and keeping the turf in their area, because if you get caught in the enemy turf, you saw there, you slow down and it hinders you a little bit. Bowler going to come out from Cool Dude, going to wait for the Booyah to drop, and that doesn't quite get the splat actually. I think they were both just far enough away. Spid with the missiles forces everybody off the zone, and that is going to retake the lead. Another squid jump back out as everybody retreats. Cool Dude coming back in. The point sensor doing exactly what it says on the tin. It will mark you if you are tagged by it. 2-on-1 situation for Cool Dude, and so many grenades coming their way. They need to back it off, and you can see none of them are near where they need to be. Pryor is keeping an eye on the zone with the Dynamo, one of the heavier weapons in the game. You are very slow moving with it, but you do a lot of damage, and just about gets the trade coming in mid-air. How is this going to turn it around? Snips with the Splatling remix, much longer range than the Nautilus, and also that little bit more powerful as well. They're currently tussling hard over this. Splats going on both sides of the field, but finally it goes in the side of Cosmos, but immediately taken back by the Kraken. Each team basically exchanging penalty points at this stage, and with 1 minute and 30 seconds left on the clock, anything can still happen. Custom dually squelches for Conroe. He's got Inkstorm, which is able to stall out the enemy team and also just take the zone away, especially if splats are coming in. Booyah Bomb is going to take that right back into Kraken's favor. Conroe survived the initial Booyah, but got taken down by the Dynamo. Again, the pair of them just goes to show how close these two teams are. Pryor going a little bit of scouting, a little bit of information by hanging up as long as possible with the BR. Finally throws it in the direction of Cool Dude. Doesn't quite get the splat on them, but they know that it's warning signs here. But Kraken, crucially, do have control. Another Bria bomb going to come in. Probably a push with this. 2 grenades and another splat jump away. This is looking like it could go away from them, and it does. Icarus does go down, and Cool Dude swamped by the pair of them. Snipe realizing the Dynamo was on their way to them, but they retook control, and with 8 seconds to go, they need to fling this Bria bomb in as soon as possible, but it's not going to make it in time. And as a result of that, our first point of this session is gonna go the way of our yellow team. Release the Kraken. Very, very good start there. 14 splats from Pryor. Again, Cool Dude with the 11, so they are always so good to watch here, but so far it is going smoothly. But having said that, how close do you want your sets? It went down to the wire. Yes, it was a KO in the last minute, but crucially, it went to the last minute. We are now going to head on over to tower control. And for tower control, we're going to have ourselves a little bit more of a... well, it's not just Splatoon 2 stages that are in this game. There are Splatoon 1 stages as well. You see more towers is on there. We're not going to do tower. Do not worry. That is not going to happen. But what we are going to do instead is that we are going to have tower control on a slightly more... well, we're going to have it on a stage 1 map. We are going to go to Camp Triggerfish. Now, for those of you who have not seen Camp Triggerfish, in Splatoon 1, it existed to be an absolute nightmare to play on in tower control. It's still frustrating in Splatoon 2, but a little bit more... you know, it's okay. It's a little better. So we are going to see what happens between the two teams on tower control on Camp Triggerfish. Now, for those of you who do not know how this is going to work, I don't think anybody liked the fact that tower control Camp Triggerfish came up here. And yeah, as you can see on the chat, a lot of rips for some of the older stages. But crucially, this is going to be a little bit more of a challenge here, and that is kind of what we're trying to showcase here, is like the challenges for both teams respectively. With Camp Triggerfish, there is a lot of water. Basically, the tower is essentially dangling above water for most of the stage. So it's crucial that your placement and your rotations, your communication with the teams are as on point as possible, because you're either on the tower or you're off the tower. It's as simple as that. If you are hesitating, that could be the difference between you landing on solid ground and you having a nice lovely little dip. And to be fair, it would not be a set of Splatoon if there wasn't at least some thought of water shenanigans. So don't you worry, drunken sailors and Dreadnought, you're going to have your own respective water match, so everybody has a slice of good combinations and questionable combinations, if you would like to say it that way. We are going to see the Nautilus and the Splatterscope coming up on the side of Cosmos, along with those Dually Squelchers, not custom this time round. Meanwhile, on the side of Kraken, they've got their own Splatterscope, and those Dually Squelchers are still the custom variant. Kenzapur and a Flingser, 2 down already. That's not the start that Cosmos would have liked it, and it's Geo, our Splatterscope, who is currently on the tower, just about getting away with that. Sticking on the right hand side, and it's going to take us past our first checkpoint. Some stages have 2 checkpoints, some stages have 3. This one has 3 on them, and you can see what it's currently doing on that tower as the pair of them just all take turns in going onto that. They're pushing as far forward as possible. Cosmos being pushed all the way back into their respective spawns, and Geo is just unhindered there, and Cool Dude knows that they have to take Geo off of that tower immediately, and you just see them straight up jump back. So now it's Pryor who is trying to actually stall this and very nearly fell into the water. Instead, it's a trade between themselves and Cool Dude, and Conroe are going to get taken out from behind at the hands of Epsy, who rolls on forward. Cool Dude not going to allow them to get any far forward than that, but checkpoint 3 is on there, and Cool Dude gets one splat. That is a double for Cool Dude. Can they get the third on Spit, who is in no man's land over there? No, they're not. They're going to go ahead, swim up forward, and start getting some more control on their side. It is crucial that they keep this momentum, realize the splatter scope was there, and quickly vetoes out of that decision. Geo up on the top. Very sensible place for the charge to be, makes it as hard as possible to be taken out. And really the only range that could get them is the other splatter scope, which is exactly what happened. How about that for commentary timing? And that's a wipe! That is a wipe, which is exactly what Cosmos needed. Conroe is going to get snipes jumped to the tower. The more people on the tower, the faster the tower will go, but also the more dangerous it can be. Conroe going to mark missiles, which will cause Epsi and Co to scatter as Epsi goes to try and fend off Conroe. It's going to be a very questionable fight here. That's 2-on-1 here. Can Conroe at least get one of them? No, they cannot. The 2-on-1 just a little bit too much. You can roll around with the dualies a lot more than, well, I say a lot more, they're the only weapons that you can roll out of the way with. And it is going to go back. They did get the first checkpoint at the very least. And again, Cosmos back on the offensive, 61-15 with 2.5 minutes left on the clock. And you can see how dangerous that tower is. And what a punt that was! That was from the roller. That was no fault of their own. That was literally the roller hitting them with the Incarmer. The Incarmer recoiled them off the platform. What a trick shot of a splat that was, and never mind that, there's a follow-up and a half. 2 for the price of 1 there for Pryor, who finally gets taken out, and it's a wipe. That is a wipe as Geo comes jumping right back on into this. And with 2 minutes on the clock, it's back in control of Release the Kraken. As you can see exactly what everybody else is doing now. Icarus trying to come back in. They don't really have the range of their weapon here, so they have to hope that they can get into a position. But again, this 2v1 tactic from Release the Kraken is on point. It seems to be nigh hard to get past. The tower is coming back the way it seems, but again, Spid is in the right place for it. They'll likely jump straight back onto this if they can. Stingray is going to come out, and that was unfortunate. Pryor just about got away from that, but the rest of the team most certainly did not. Cool Dude goes in with the ball. Did they get the splat with that? Not quite. They're still going in for the 1v1. Spid with the Booyah Bomb back into the middle area. Snipes just about able to get away with that. Has Stingray of their own, just about makes the jump into the tower. And that's what I mean. Sometimes if you, oh, Snipes, no! Snipes, you went for a swim. That's not where you're supposed to go. Like I said, these things do happen. That is the thrill and the curse of Camp Triggerfish. Missiles from Pryor, gonna mark at least 2 with that, I do believe. You just see them just snaking around, just biding their time, waiting for them to make the first move. Throwing in the suction bomb, they've got assistance there, but Cool Dude does get a splat with the Nautilus. There's a jump happening, and Pryor gonna get picked off by the Nautilus. Could not get back in time. It gives Cosmos a 4-2 lead with 30 seconds left on the clock. Spid is pressuring Conroe. Can they win out this 1v1 on this occasion? They've stalled them enough. I think Conroe thought about going the other way. Actually came back onto the offensive. And Spid activates their get out of jail free card with the use of the Booyah Bomb. And Conroe knows that this is not great for them. They're pincered again by the pair of them. And that is going to be another 2-on-1 situation. That is another quick jump onto the tower. Release the Krakens were the last ones on it. I don't think anyone's going to get onto that in time. Or are they? Snips does. But unfortunately are taken out. Overtime lasted for 2 seconds. And Release the Kraken hold on to take a 2-0 lead in this best of 5 showcase. So 13 splats, both for Pryor and for Cool Dude. Release the Kraken got their advantage ASAP, and from there they just had to hold on because Cosmos were getting a good wipe and a half on their side of the field. So it's looking good on both sides. They're still incredibly close, and Cosmos was able to push it back, but crucially Kraken holding on. Some very well played rounds on each. And we are going to see our first foray into Rainmaker. We've had a Splatoon 1 stage, we will now have a Splatoon 2 stage. And one of the most crucial moments in the Splatoon 2 UK Championship. One of those moments happened in the actual final of the grand finals of the UK Championship, where 4D were 2-0 down. They went into the third match, which was Inkblot Art Academy and Rainmaker, and with 30 seconds left to go, having been behind the entire match, 4D came up, took the lead, and held on after a last-second counter-attack play from Mako to hold on and take it into 2-1, and both me and Barry lost their absolute minds in the commentary box, because we have every right to do so, because, yeah, that play, that was a good play. That was a good minute, I swear. So, as a result, we will now have our two teams go through this combination of their own accord. And let's see what they can do here. Now, Cosmos have to do what we wonderful esports veterans call the reverse sweep, which is to win every single match from here on out, which I say it's proven hard to do, but at the same time not really, since Cosmos are bringing the fight to Release the Kraken here. It's like, even though Release the Kraken are doing all the work in that very first segment, and then Cosmos are bringing the fight back to them and coming back from behind, and each time Kraken are just about holding on. So we're gonna see if that can be the case here. We're gonna see if Release the Kraken will start as they mean to go on and just end this 3-0, or if we are going to see if Cosmos can do a little bit of a turnaround of their own accord. I've only just realised that my round counter has not been updated whatsoever. It should be updated now. We are on round 3 of our best of 5. I do apologise for that. Rainmaker, this is where the fun begins. There is a shield in the middle. You pop that shield. Oh yeah, rule 101 of Rainmaker. Don't be in front of the shield when it explodes. You will regret it. And we're going to see a Bamboozler from Snipes. Very interested pick. That Nautilus is going to be a different kind of Nautilus on as well. So we're going to see what each of them bring to the table. And wow, an immediate dead heat on the shield. Icarus as close as possible with the Splattershot. Junior does get the pop in their favor, but naturally nobody wants to pick it up until they've got somewhat of an advantage. Snipes trading basically the range with a little bit more power and tenacity behind the Bamboozler, because they're probably running main power up, but they're gonna jump right back out. Our blow lobber of Geo is the one with the Rainmaker, gonna go up the middle, and Bubbles coming out as well, but they are gonna get caught within missiles and in the Ink Storm, and they were only going to be swimming into a splat. The Bubbles not coming into any effect whatsoever. 4-2 advantage if Snipes can get into a good position with the Bamboo. Does get the splat on Spid. One shot, one splat. Thank you very much. Inkjet also coming up, and Epsy as well. Cannot avoid any of that. The AoE damage on the Inkjet, it can surprise you. Only 2 shots really, and you're pretty much out of it. Low lobber from Geo. It's a bathtub essentially. Bathtub, sink, call it what you want. It flings off a variety of bubbles. And you see the Rainmaker has been popped, and Icarus just going to leave it for the time being. More bubbles on the side, and actually somebody went for that. I think that was Pryor who went in with the bubbles, but did not get any kind of purchase on that whatsoever. Conroe just waiting now, has the range to take Geo, and does so. And this is a good time for Cosmos to try and make a run of this. But they immediately lose it. They immediately got down there. Who was that? I think that was Epsy with the dualies. And they are trying to get the splat on Cool Dude in the process, but not going to happen on this occasion. Cool Dude gets the splat. It will be a good chance for Cosmos if they can get a couple of wins here on their side. A couple of 1v1s is all they're looking for as Epsy comes back into the thick of things. Rainmaker has been reset yet again. Basically, it's when the shield has been popped, but nobody has picked it up after a designated time, so it goes straight back to the middle, taking away any and all advantage. And that is going to be another catch for the Nautilus, for Cool Dude, who is on a rampage here. They want to show not just what they could do, but what their team could do, and crucially it's a 4v2. They've got Inkjet, they're going to come right up into Geo's face, and with that they take the lead by a point. Would you look at that, gets the splat on Geo in the process, and hops right back into the path of Pryor, who was ready and waiting for them. They're going to come in with the roll. Do they get the splat on Icarus? They do. 4-2 advantage for them now, but they have to take the lead here by a point as we enter 2 minutes and 20 seconds on the clock. Conroe can see where everybody is coming in. The Slosher Machine trying to catch them off guard, but not going to happen on this occasion. Epsi is the one with the Rainmaker. It is its own weapon after all. You can absolutely take people out with it. Splashdown coming in for big time protection. Not going to really get any splats, but it at least gets the rest of the enemy team to back off just a little bit. And so far, this is not looking good for Epsi. They are the only ones left, and they know they have to go forward with it because that is a wipe. They were the only ones left. Very good coordination and play from Cosmos that keep this alive. It's still the most slimmest of leads, but crucially, it is a lead, and it's exactly what they need. Curler Bomb goes out towards the right, just to cover that little bit more ground, and also just in case anybody happens to be lurking there. Any kind of damage will give you away. The turf, however, is still looking like it is in the favor of Release the Kraken. Look at how much more green there is on the field than there is purple. Goldude coming in with the Inkjet. Thought they got the splat on Epsi initially, but finally jumps on back, and Epsi actually goes down to something else there. It must have been the Scorchers that took them out. Prior with the roller needs to back up out of there. Missiles is going to catch them off guard. They just about survive thanks to the use of their bubble blower. Works in defensive. What a turnaround that was, but finally does get taken down by their good old Bamboozler. Our wonderful players getting kind of bamboozled here. No pun intended. Curler coming out. Geo goes down as well. 45 seconds on the clock. I guess the question at this point is, can Cosmos hang on to this and take us in to match number 4? Grenade is going to come through. You see Release the Kraken are trying to find a way through this stalemate, because it's essentially what it is at the moment. Income is going to come up, and so too the bubble, so this will be a chance to push. But 2 of them have immediately gone down. I think it was Cooldude who got the splat as well, and that just leaves Epsi. They're the only ones left, and with 20 seconds on the clock, Cosmos realize this is theirs to win. Now, the question is, will they leave the Rainmaker in the middle unpopped? I think they're going to, but surely if you're wise, you'll pick that up and get out of there, because they know that Release the Kraken, if they can pick this up, they'll go for it, but they immediately fell right into that trap. They went for the Rainmaker, and the grenade was perfectly placed. That is going to be a splat. Checkmates all round, and Cosmos is not going away here. A 2-0 lead becomes a 2-1 lead. It's not over yet, my friends. Very good game from both, but look at Cooldude popping massively off with that 20 splats and the 5 inkjets as well. On an absolute tear is Cosmos, and that is going to take us into our 4th match, which is going to be Clamblitz. I didn't think we'd actually get to see Clamblitz, but we are going to get to do so now. We've had a Splatoon 2 stage, we then had a Splatoon 1 stage, we had another Splatoon 2 stage, then we had, now we are going to have ourselves another Splatoon 1 stage. And I think it's only fair for our next Splatoon 1 stage to take our way over to Walleye Warehouse. One of the very first stages in Splatoon's history. It's only fair that we give it its time, and to be fair, Clamblitz is a very, very interesting segment. Because with Walleye Warehouse and Clamblitz, there are a lot of different ways that you can go into this in terms of attacking. You've got the path on the left. It's a very narrow hallway, which you can get caught in between. You've got the middle area, which is the ramp, which you can see the spawn area directly in front of you. But it's also very dangerous as a result. And then you've got the right-hand side of things, which is, there's a little wall. That normally that wall does not exist in normal Turf War Walleye Warehouse, but that wall is there specifically for here. You can ink that, swim up that, and attack on the right hand side. But here is where Clamblitz becomes that little bit more of a strategic game, because there are tiny clams all over the place. You pick up a clam, it adds to your tally, but that tally is not important. Kind of. It depends on the stage of the game you're currently in. Once a player has 10 tiny clams, it will form a football. It's not the official term, but so many of us are just like, it's a football, so we all just call it a football. It's as simple as that. And once you have that, just like if you hold onto the Rainmaker, you are marked for everyone to see. So you can either try to attack with the football or try to flank around and have somebody jump to you who has a football. And that is how you do your surprise attack. So it's crucial you are as observant and as communicative as possible, especially on Clamblitz. We're going to see the Bamboozler coming out again, but they're immediately going to hit the deck. As you can see, everybody jostling for position. No real severe changes in terms of the stand-ins here, in terms of weapons. So we're going to see what our Flings and Roll of Prayer is doing. I think they just marked one initially, and now they're going to mark two. Dude goes down. So the other missiles are just going to go the other way. And so far, neither team with an advantage just yet. Stingray going to come up from Geo very early on. It's a good stage to use Stingray on, since it's one of the more narrow stages, so generally you don't have to redirect too much if you miss. Although having said that, they were not keeping an eye on Snipes, who comes in with not just one but two crucial Bamboozler splats, and marks Spid in the process who went down, so it's pretty much a near wipe for Cosmos, who are starting off incredibly strong. The points that you can see on the left and right of your screen are how many clams collective each team has at the moment. But the score that matters the most is the remaining number. You need to score something, otherwise you will not be in the lead whatsoever. Snipes trying to figure out where they want to go, regrouping with the rest of the team. And everyone's just kind of pinned here at the moment. It's a very big stalemate, and sometimes that's what Clamblitz can end up doing. Also, just like any other football game, you can pass the football by pressing A. But we're going to see 3 people immediately drop down, and you can see exactly what's happening here. Everybody's just piling on clams onto Parla to try and get, not Parla, Priya, to get the football up into a good position, and they're going to go for the attack, are they? They're thinking about it. Bria Bomb came out, and so too the Stingray, but they haven't actually made a push yet here, and Spid loses out the 1v1. It's just the Bamboozler left. They need to try and get good with this aim. They do eventually splat, but the barrier is broken, and the first points do go the way of Release the Kraken. Now, here's what is the fun thing about this, is that once you've broken the barrier, you get a free football once it goes back up. So, Cosmos do have a free football if they want to get into a good position to come up and do a play of their own. But so far, they're just letting it sit there for the time being. It should also be noted that if that barrier does get broken and goes back down, if there is already a what people call a pity clam already there, another one won't spawn. So it's crucial you do pick it up at that point to add to your collection and add to that little bit of a threat. But another Bria Bomb push coming up. It's great for both defensive and aggressive plays. The throw is going to come up, and the barrier is broken yet again. Good plays all around, and you see Spid going up the right-hand side, but is going to get caught out by Conroe, the all-seeing eye of the Dually Scorchers, who are going to come up now. They're going to have a couple footballs on the field, one to the left. They can't pick it up just yet. It's in a very dangerous position, and Geo just marking it for the time being. Can they actually pick this up? They do! Koldu does rescue it, and Snipes jumps back into the fray. It's 100-70, and Cosmo have it all to do if they want to take this to a match 5. They have the clams, they have the potential to do so, and they do get another splat. But crucially, they need to find a way of breaking on through, and I think they may have just done so. They did! Icarus got the score, and Conroe is still there, and they're choosing to throw single clams in, and crucially, they take the lead. Snipes just throwing in some as well in place of their own lives, but that's fine. It was the push that Cosmos were looking for. 44-70 now is going to be the gap. And now it's Release the Kraken who will have to find a way of responding. Icarus in the middle, just going to keep an eye on where they're going. Quickly hopping on back, allowing somebody else to hop on forward whilst they re-turf and get their special charge back up. The Junior does have it up, and they're going to activate the armor now. 1 minute left on the clock. The lead is, well, it's 26 points, but that's not counting the penalty points that are currently applied as well, which you will have to throw through. Geo has Power Clam on their side. They've got a free one back there as well after the barrier broke. Stingray coming out again. I don't know if the Stingray is a good idea to come out just yet, but we'll see how this plays out. They might be able to charge it back up quicker, so we'll see how it plays out. Spid on the side there, followed in with the roller. Conroe has a football. The rest of the team know where they are as a result of it. It looks like they are committed to the right-hand side, but Yankstorm going to stall them out. They have the advantage here, 4-2, as long as there is a football on the possession of the team who are who are behind. Overtime should be deployed, and it looks like that's what's going to happen, and they are going to start slowly making their way forward, I think. Geo has the football on their side, and the Stingray is going to come out. Overtime has been deployed. Inkjet is going to get taken out. That's cool, dude. Par could not get any further forward, so they have to make a push right here and now. But I think they're too far away to be able to get there, and Conroe is going to make sure that absolutely is stopped. And I don't think the roller is anywhere close. That will be game. That will be match 5, my friends. Well, well, well. Our first Splatoon 2 showcase match of the day, and it goes the distance. Snipes with the most flats, just about beating out Cool Dude, but again, crucial work there from Cosmos. They were able to hold on for dear life, and I am now going to go in here. And I'm going to ask Release the Kraken and Cosmos. They are going to pick one mode. Alright, here is what I'm going to ask both Release the Kraken and Cosmos. Looks like everybody wants it to go to zones. So it looks like everybody wants zones. And we are going then to allow Dude to pick the stage. It looks like everybody wants. We got a lot of suggestions in the chat here. We got Rainmaker, Blackbelly. We've got, what else have we got there? We got Zones, Mako. I think I saw on there. We got Rainmaker Kelp. Dear Lord, what are you doing? We've seen a lot of very quick matches on that, but believe me, we've got Turf War mentioned, but we're going to do that as a special later on. Mako Zones does seem to be getting a lot. We got Moe Turf on there. I got my special things to do with Moe. Ooh, okay, so, right, we have a decision. So, Geo is going with the side of Twitch chat, which is going to be Splat Zones, and the Cosmos are going to pick the stage, and that stage is New Albacore Hotel. So, I did not think that I did think match 5 might happen, but I wasn't 100% sure we would actually get there. So, hi my friends, match 5. I hope you're all looking forward to this. This should be absolutely great. I should probably mention, I think some people have been asking about the star. Some people have been responding in chat. This game has a level system. Once you hit level 99, the game gives you the option to reset your level. It doesn't really reset it, it promotes you. So it puts you back to number 1, but you get a star next to your name. A lot of people call it prestige, essentially. So it basically means that you've played this game for a very, very, very long time. And there is no limit to how many times you can prestige either. So the game hasn't added in ways of saying how many times you've prestiged. Just know that if you got the star, chances are A, they know what they're doing, because B, they've been playing this game for a very long time. Fun fact. Splatoon 1 did not have a prestige system. It initially capped at level 20, I think it was, and then it raised the cap to level 50. The same goes for the rank. Rank mode's highest segment was S+. That was in Splatoon 1. In Splatoon 2, it went to S plus 50 initially. And then it got changed down to S+10 in substitution for X rank, which is the highest rank in the game, which operates on its completely own system. Like everything else is like the bar set. Once you hit X, it goes into numbers. That is like full on extreme mode. We are into match number 5. Whoever wins this wins the showcase. For the second time today, we get another water stage, but crucially, it's a hotel. It's not quite Mahi Mahi Resort. Spoiler alert, it's one of my favorite maps in Splatoon 1, but it's still a very, very good stage nonetheless. And already, Conroe and Snipe's going to start off very strong, taking the initiative in the middle of the zone, as Pryor tries to come into a little bit more of a good situation to properly use the things. They have the egg core, which is able to basically stall out the opponents. You can get splats with it, but it's very, very unlikely. Cool Dude with the egg jet immediately shot down by the roller, who gets sniped out of existence by, you guessed it, that bamboozler. Cosmos already taken past the 50 mark, as Release the Kraken tried desperately to get back towards the center stage. And Epsilon, can they get into a good position? They're starting to finally get coverage back, but crucially, most of the team are still there. The grenade launcher, I think, is coming on through. And finally, Release the Kraken have taken the zone. And the Inkwall again, giving the Flings of Roller enough chance to get into position and cause some absolute chaos. They are on the board now. Purple has been stopped at 29. And we're just going to see where everybody else is coming down. Cool Dude's not going to make it further. That's all. I think it was Geo who got the snipe. They're using an E-leader. E-leader scope, no less. Mines and Inkstorm. And you probably bet that there are going to be mines somewhere around here. The E-leader is the longest range weapon in the entire game. They can't quite get the flick shot on Cool Dude, who is on the other side of that ramp as the time ticks on down. Inkwall is going to come up, and the wall not going to help them this time around. Cool Dude got the rotation. They have lost the lead, but they are on the verge of taking it back. Epsilon goes down. First hit from Cool Dude was absolutely crucial. Can they get the splat on Geo, who is desperately trying to hit someone else, but just runs out of time. Control has been wrestled away. Pryor on the side. Can't quite get the flick on with the Flingser. Has to go round to the right-hand side as the bomb launcher comes into play. And where are we going to go from here? Well, Inkwall's going to come up, and the bombs start flinging on in. And will they wrestle Control back here? It looks like they might be about to do so. What a double splat that was for Pryor, and they do take the lead. It's a 4-2 advantage. Cool Dude, another crucial flick. Pryor is operating on an incredible level here. Every flick is landing so far. And now Cosmos have a ways to come back into this. It's only a 6-point gap, but crucially, they've got all these penalty points to go through first. Knight looking to try and do a bit of a surprise, but is caught off guard by Epsi. Can they get the splat on them? At the least they do. Nice little quick flick, and Geo quickly runs away. Knowing full well they've got the range advantage, they just need to find a way of being able to land a blow with this E-leader. Epsilon going to come right back into the fray. Actually managed to get a good roll. It's a roll off here between themselves and Conroe, and actually does get the better of them. They're going to start pushing on through now. Knowing full well they've got the player advantage, and the zone is nearly on their side, and is on their side. Once again, Pryor coming in from behind, and crucially gets the splat roller. Conroe again, wrong place, wrong time, immediately saw Pryor and went, nope, I need to get out of here. Everybody is grouped up here. This could be very dangerous. Icarus goes down. Pryor could get another splat, but can't this time round. Conroe is going to get the stop on them. 29 to 23, but the penalty points are almost out here, and Conroe realizes this. Throws the Storm onto the zone to try and at least stop it. It's just them and the Junior left, and they can't win out. They can't win out in this situation. And as it stands, it looks like it's going to go the way of Release the Kraken, and Geo is celebrating. Geo is celebrating already because they believe they've already got it. With 2 seconds on the clock, they have got it sealed. Release the Kraken nearly losing it on the final hurdle, but just about holds on. It's 3-2 to the Kraken after a very intense best of 5 set. GG's to everyone involved, but it is gonna go the way of the Kraken. Congratulations all round, my friends. That was a great first match, and I'm gonna just quickly grab my headphones. because it's time now. Let's get ourselves a chance to relax, to take a breather. Definitely hydrate yourselves, because we're all going to need it. And get ourselves in to a quick little interview with a member of Cosmos and a member of Release the Kraken. Okie dokie, no webcams, I'm afraid. I'm the only one who's going to have a webcam, so we're going to have the team icon for Release the Kraken on my left, and on my right we'll have Cosmos's logo, and I do believe we are joined by Cool Dude. Nope, they went. Never mind. Never mind. I immediately looked at the logo and they immediately dropped, so I do apologize for that. We are going to see if they quickly come back. Hopefully they will. First time for everything on these kind of situations. Like I said, this is the first takeover. Well, I'll do my best to try and iron out from here. But I think we have two representatives now. I think we've got... Who we got? We got Cool Dude from Cosmos, and we've got Geo from Release the Kraken. How are you both doing?
I'm good, thanks.
Yeah, it's good. Fun games.
Ooh, I can't hear anything.
Oh.
Apparently you two are talking, but I can't hear you at all.
Oh, fun time.
Oh, Discord, why did you have to do this to me? That's not what I wanted. Oh, try talking now.
Hello.
That's better. Okay, so
Okay.
Alright. That was very weird. So yeah, everybody could hear you in chat, but I couldn't hear you. But it's all been fixed now. Alright, let me try it again. How are you both?
I'm good, thanks.
Nice.
Yeah. Alright, good games.
Yeah.
Always fun to play a bit of Splatoon.
GG's.
GG's all round. Nerves must have been going through your minds there, Geo. You're having a 2-0 lead, and then suddenly Cosmos comes right back at you.
Yeah, well, you know, you've got to give them a few. Like, they're younger, you just got to give them a few games, you know? Just
gotta give them 20 kills.
See, I knew you were going to fire out with that. 20 splats!
That was a good game for you, though.
That was unbelievable, but I feel like most of the times, anytime I saw you with your Nautilus, it was like, it wasn't just you putting pressure with the Nautilus, it was you putting pressure with the Inkjet as well, and obviously 2 splats in that general area with the Inkjet generally takes it for you. Does it make it easier for you? Or do you become a bigger target, would you say?
I think with the Inkjet, when we're doing team pushes, it helps a lot, just because I can sort of... I mainly use it just to outrange the enemy team, even though Nautilus has a lot of range in itself. But in 1v1s, it's sort of just a panic button sometimes. Sometimes works, sometimes doesn't, but...
To be fair, you use that to describe a lot of specials in this game. Like the splashdown is a panic button. Like the Booyah Bomb can be a panic button sometimes. So it's...
Yeah.
It's an easy one to sort of like compare that into. Geo, on your side of things, like I said, I mean, obviously you say, you give them a couple of games to get back into it, but serious talk though, when it comes to the point when you could see the momentum swinging, especially on a game like Rainmaker and Clan Blitz, you kind of felt like you just couldn't seem to push forward. Was that the case? Were they that good defensively?
Yeah, kind of. Whenever we went to push, we never really either had the specials ready or we just weren't coordinated enough. But as you get to the final game, you've sort of just got to forget everything that went behind, because it's just the best of one when it gets to that point.
Yeah. Yes, the sudden death is always an intense one to play through. Even when you pick the mode, like you have your preference. I think every team has their preferred mode that they want to play on, but it's like, when you see that the enemy team have a pretty decent start, or they start coming back at you, and to be fair, Cosmos were consistently coming back at you, even during the first 2 points, where it's just like, what do you do in that scenario? Like, when you know they're going to come at you swinging.
Yeah, well, since it's what you play scrims and stuff for, you just got to hope that you've practiced to be able to defend them enough. Like, it's just as important to be able to, like, counter their pushes as it is to be able to push, so... Although it gets kind of nervous when the points are really close, you've just got to, you just got to play well.
That's what it always comes down to, isn't it? A couple quick questions that I'd like to ask before we wrap up this quick little interview. And first, I'm going to target Cool Dude on this one. What got you into playing like Splatoon 2? Like, what was the thing that made you want to take this in a competitive direction?
The way I found out the game was just through the Nintendo Switch showcase when they were revealing everything about the console, and I was just like, wow, this looks really cool. But the way I got into competitive was actually on the Switch news, and I saw like the UK Championship. I'm like, might as well enter. So,
and the rest they say is history, I guess.
Yeah.
How quickly was it for you to construct a team? Like, was there any hardships? Was there a moment where you thought you couldn't quite get what you wanted?
Yeah, I think all of those have definitely happened. My first team, it was just me and a bunch of friends, but we didn't really play at all. So, but when you get into just like looking for people for specifically just to play in a team with them, it can be quite difficult to find what you want, but when you do get the right match, then that's really good. So.
And I guess the same kind of question aimed at you as well, Gio, because I know you've gone through a fair few teams in your time.
Yeah, well, I originally was playing Splatoon 1 with the team Everything Amiibo.
Yeah, I know you.
I got into... We got into that. I just saw one of the competitions on ESL, and I thought I'd just message one of the teams taking part, and I did, and it turned out that they were also looking for a Charger player, so that's basically how I started.
Oh, nice. And I guess that's always the thing, whereas like every single player has their own specific playstyle, their own kind of weapons to go for. What made you go for Chargers?
I think mostly I can't hit consecutive shots, so just being able to hit one is a lot nicer for me.
That's fair.
Also that, and I do quite like the weapons, being able to pick people off from a long range without having to be close to them. Yeah, and it was always really annoying when you played against other Chargers who were good, so that probably all built into what made me play them.
Yeah, it's always nice when you go up against someone who uses the same kind of weapons, and they kind of inspire you to go further with it, because there's always someone out there who is better at the weapon than you, which is just how it is in any game. So with that, I think we're going to quickly wrap up this interview. Thank you both so much for joining, both on the showcase and in the interview itself, and I wish you all the best as we slowly but surely build towards the finals of the UK Championship. I hope you both look forward to it.
Yeah, thank you for hosting this.
No worries. Take care of yourselves.
See ya.
See ya. Okay, and so with that out of the way with, we are now going to set up for our second match, which is going to be Dreadnoughts versus Drunken Sailors. And I think we should be able to get them back into the lobby now. So let's get ourselves set up, shall we? So whilst we await for our respective teams to hop on in, again, just a quick reminder of what we are doing here. Thank you very much for the posture checks and the hydration. It is very warm in here because unfortunately there was a lot of noise outside, so definitely going to need it. We are here with our first game advisor takeover of the British Esports Association. I'm TamashiiKanjou, and this girl is running you through 2 best of 5 showcase matches, the second one of which is coming up. They are involving teams who are currently qualified for the 2019-2020 Splatoon 2 UK Championship. I hope you're all having a wonderful time wherever you are joining us around the world, and are looking forward to our next set. Now, we did end with Splat Zone, so we will not start with Splat Zones. We will start with Tower Control as a result. And we also started with a Splatoon 2 stage, so I should we start with a Splatoon 2 stage again? I think it's only fair that we do so. In fact, we are going to do so because the next match is going to be Rainmaker, and I would like a Splatoon 1 stage on that because I have a lot of people requesting Moray Towers, and Moray Towers works the best, in my opinion, on Rainmaker. So I think that's what we're going to do for our second match. But our first match is going to be something a little bit different, and honestly, we haven't had the Reef yet. The Reef was one of the very first stages that got introduced in Splatoon 2. So that is where we're going to be starting. We're going to start on Tower Control on the Reef. It's another Splatoon 2 stage. I get to see what both teams come into this with. We've got Phil, Baggage, Spore, and Redriz, excuse me, who are going to be on the side of Dreadnought. On the side of the Drunken Sailors, we're going to have Flare, Splash, Blue Racer, and Ibuki, I do believe. Hopefully I'm not wrong on that one. We'll absolutely see. And once they join in, we'll be good to go. And like I said, and it's always interesting when you hear back of what each player says for both their experiences and for teams. Sometimes it can be incredibly hard to put together a team. Like sometimes you'll get it just off chance. Like you just happen to be in the right place at the right time and you're in a team. Other times you have to put in the work. A lot of teams are looking for people who have a specific rank in X rank. So if they have a specific power level in all 4 modes, they'll bring them into tryouts and they do their tryouts. Quite like how some other teams in other games work. And that's sometimes how you join in. Or sometimes you can literally just ask a few friends, as you heard Cosmos talking about, as you heard Kuldu talking about, where they just started off with some friends and then they went from there. So there are multiple ways of being able to get in, and you don't have to go straight into the deep end. You can just work yourself up the ladder just to see if this is what you want to do. And Splatoon 2 does have a mode called League, where you can go in as a duo or as a quad, and then obviously, as both teams mentioned, there are scrims as well, which is essentially sessions where you basically have matches with another team and you just go up against each other with that. So that is generally how that all plays out. So with that being said, we're going to have Dreadnoughts in Alpha, and we're going to have Drunken Sailors, ironically enough, in the green that their jackets are in, which we'll talk a little bit about a little later. So yeah, these are the 2 teams who will be going up against it next. And do remember that we do have the National Video Game Museum Support Fund in the bottom right corner. If you do want to drop any subs, bits, cheers, or just straight up tips, you can do so. Just check out the link, which is www.dnvm.org/about, and obviously you can donate via the Just Giving link, which is in the chat as well. Without further ado, I do believe we are ready for our second match, well, our second set, and let's get ourselves switched on over there, shall we? So, lights out and away we go for Tower Control, and Booyah's already, which is always good to see. Dreadnought in the dark blue, Drunken Sailors in the green. And the Reef is a little bit more of an interesting map. It has a bridge, as you can see, and the Tower is hiding right underneath it. In Turf War, the underneath segment of this area does count towards turf, and it's going to be Baggage on the side of Dreadnought, who's going to start strong. And in fact, it's only the Kenza who's left, and Splash quickly retreats out. They got the splat on Spore. They have Booyah Bomb available, but already you can see full well that, well, that's going to get taken down, but it doesn't really matter too much because Spore is already on the offensive. They're already at the second checkpoint, and Spore gets the spot on Flare, surprises Blue as well. Blue coming in with an Oxbrush in the process, and the ball is going to chase Splash all the way around. Sponge is going to get soaked right on up, and Splash is just going to get chased and splattered in the end by Spore. And look at how quickly Dreadnought have pushed all the way up front. They're already past the third and final checkpoint, and this is looking like it could be a KO within the space of a minute. Baggage does get flick-shotted by Flare. Really good shot in the end as the tower finally goes back, and the Stingray gonna keep Phil off that as well. The Blaster is what is gonna catch them out, and Ibuki goes down in the process. So good defensive play from the Drunken Sailors. They just about hold on, but they've got a mountain to climb here at 6 to 100, and the tower is coming back towards them. It's red again, and as you can see, their special is slowly charging up just being on the tower alone. We are going to come in for Baggage. That should be able to tip it across the line, and it does. A relatively straightforward match, and Dreadnoughts will take the initiative, leading by a point to 0. Very aggressive start here. No doubt about it. Look at the splats on the side of Spore. The brushes are kind of like the rollers. They are very, very quick moving weapons. And you saw there were two brushes on there. You saw the Octobrush in the hands of Blue Racer, and you had the Ink Brush on the side of Dreadnought. The Ink Brush is the faster of the two, naturally. But crucially, it also attacks that little bit faster. The Octobrush is slower, but it hits harder. So you get the general idea, but Spore was just not having any of that. We are going to now head on over to Rainmaker, and yes, we will be going Rainmaker Mori Towers. I did say that that's what we were going to be doing. This map is generally all over the place in terms of the fact that it's a very unique stage in the case of it's easily the most vertical stage in the entire game. Like no joke. The second you see this stage, you'll realize that it looks nothing like any other stage in this game. Also, I just want to quickly mention in the chat, just real quick, just to re-clarify that I'm a girl. Hi. Hopefully you all respect that, but just an FYI. Yeah, just an FYI. Looks like everybody is ready and good to go, and we're just going to update that to say round 2. Drunken Sailors doing very well in the defensive line, it must be said, but the second they got caught in their own spawn area, they seem to just struggle to be able to push back out, but it is still early days, and like I said, this is what Mori Towers looks like. It's quite a long way to go to get down to the Rainmaker. At this kind of situation, you want to bring in stuff like beacons, because if you do, well, it makes getting back into the action that little bit easier, as you can see how much you have to drop on down to get into this position. It is going to pop in Dreadnought's favour in the purple. Drunken Sailor still in the blue, and Phil going to try and challenge immediately with the Julies, but is actually going to lose out on this 1v1 exchange to Ibuki, who has the torpedo. It'll lock on to a target if there is anybody nearby. If not, it just acts as a normal grenade. And a hammer gets hold! Ibuki was inadvertently going in the same direction as it, but they've got a chance here to maybe get some points on the board. They have a massive advantage as Ibuki is unfortunately going to be the only one left off their team. Goes for the splashdown, but not going to get any kind of purchase on that. Dr. Phil all going in for the flank, has beacons already on their side, and you can see what Dreadnoughts are about to do. They're already going all the way up, and Baggage couldn't hit the floor, unfortunately, in time. They got picked out of mid-air. Red with the Neo Sploosh. Not the Neo Sploosh, it's the Sploosh 7, I do believe. It's one of the not the Kenza, it's the Sheldon's Pick collection. So it has the hammer. It's a very big squeaky hammer. It does, well, pretty much what you would expect it to do, as it's going to be Blue who has the Rainmaker, and they're going to try and push forward as a team. They've gotten 2 splats here. They need to get that a little bit further. They've got a massive deficit yet again to claw back. And Blue coming right back into the storm, not where you want to be, and there's going to be someone following them right there. And it's going to be Spore who's going to chase all the way up, and that's another very good push here on the side of Dreadnought. Another beacon. Red's going to go in for the 1v1. Splash goes for the Booyah. Does actually get it off. Catches Red out. And Spore is going to be the sole survivor there. In fact, they're the only ones left. They put down another beacon. This is why it's important to bring in beacons on a stage like Mori Towers, because not only do you need it to get back into the action ASAP, but you can also pop it down on the enemy side and get your team to do their own kind of flanks. As you can see, another splat going on their side is the ink bush that's gone down on this occasion. And Sport, again, just every time they have a moment, another beacon goes down and immediately wails on the Rainmaker. As we approach 2.5 minutes left on the clock, Ibuki is going to get caught along with Blue Racer. It's a nice double splat for Spore, and the Rainmaker's just hanging there. Who's going to grab it? It is going to be Spore, so be careful of that bubble, and finally does so, and the Rainmaker is moving on up 4-2 advantage. There is going to be one there, and Spore thought about going for the ink rail, but actually got caught in a very precarious position there, and inadvertently lost red in the process, so it's just Baggage who has to quickly retreat. They're not in a good position, especially with the kind of weapon they're bringing in. And so, as a result, everyone else is having to just sort of like stall it out a little bit here. Splash trying to get a bit more purchase with the Kanza Pro, as you can see on the right-hand side there. Blue Racer on the top of the tower with the Rainmaker. They have yet to score any points here. Phil does go down at the hands of the Rainmaker, but crucially, this is Dreadnoughts to lose here at this point, and Blue Racer sniped from position. It's Baggage again, a good shot with the E-leader. Not going to quite get it on Ibuki, who pushes them forward and actually does get the splat, and Ibuki quickly runs straight on back to try and help pressure the Rainmaker. Rainmaker shield is going to pop in the side of Drunken Sailors. 1.5 minutes left on the clock. Bubbles are going to come out for a little bit more of aggression, but still, they can't quite get where they want to, and in fact, it's actually been the opposite way here. Blue Racer pings off an ink mine, hits in with the splashdown, but crucially, it's not them who have the Rainmaker. It is going to be on the side of Dreadnought, and you can see the push is already going. Red is going to think about going up the big time section. Are they going to go up the wall? It looks like they are going to go up the wall, and straight up with a minute left on the clock, they're looking for that KO, and I think they can get it. Another splat. This time it's on blue. It's just the Kenza left, and red is going to commit. That's a wipe. That's a wipe. Are we going to see the dunk? We're going to see a KO dunk. It's on the podium, and Dreadnought continue that pressure, and it's a 2-0 lead for the Dreadnoughts. Drunken Sailors are in the same situation now as Cosmos. 2-0 down. Can Dreadnoughts do what Release the Kraken could not? Look at Ibuki though. Ibuki with 14 splash, absolutely pop it off, but unfortunately just consistently going down. The rest of the team just could not keep up, and Dreadnought's pressure just, it's unrelentless, it must be said, as we now head on over to Clamblitz for our third match. And Clamblitz will take place on a Splatoon 2 stage. And shall we do Wahoo? Or should we do Mako? Wahoo or Mako? Let's go for Wahoo. Wahoo Clams is generally a safe bet, so. But yeah, in terms of what has been happening in the past couple matches, I mean, Drunken Sailors, you know, they held as much as they could in tower control, but unfortunately Dreadnoughts got through relatively quickly. In Rainmaker, however, much different. Yes, they couldn't quite get points on the board, which was sad to see. But they were coming in with a completely different mindset, really, and obviously Ibuki was popping off massively with the dualies, but on top of that, Dreadnoughts, every time they pushed forward, Sailors were able to find a way of at least stalling it out, at least getting a couple of key crucial splats, which meant the Dreadnoughts had to pretty much go the distance there. So it's very good showing from the Drunken Sailors, that tenacity, that fighting spirit to keep themselves alive to the very end. And we'll see how this ends up playing out for them as we now head into Clamblitz, which is still quite a chaotic mode. Of that there is no doubt, but we will find out if they can hold their own and maybe score a surprise point of their own. So we'll see how this all plays out. But as it stands, Dreadnoughts just need one more point to see if they could do what Release the Kraken could not do in their set and beat this. Win their set 3-0. Because you know Drunken Sailors, they will make an absolute fight out of this, and they have done so in the past with their previous UK Championship outings where they made a couple of key mistakes, but still managed to end up on top in a 3-2 victory. So we'll see if they can do that again here and give us another level to their aggressive mindset. Red is going to come back in with that sploosh. We're going to see a charger, the hero charger. Not really anything different from the normal charger, it just looks more aesthetically pleasing. It's from the single player campaign. In fact, we're not going to really see that much range on the Drunken Sailors. Not the Drunken Sailors, the Dreadnoughts. We're going to see a foil squeezer by the looks of it from Phil. Drunken Sailors in the blue, Dreadnoughts in the yellow, and already Dreadnoughts off to a very quick clam orientated start. They already have 20 clams in their possession, so they'll form a football anytime soon. Splash with the Kansas Pro has Bubbles charged up. Bubbles are great in Clam Blitz for both aggressive and defensive plays. And Booyah Bombs already came up, and Phil thinking about popping Bubbles very soon, and finally does so. But they did lose the hammer of the sploosh there. The sploosh activated it, but could not secure their intended target. And the Bubbles coming out for the defense while the Dreadnoughts do eventually pop the barrel. But will they be able to keep it open? They can. Phil tries to come in to score a last second batch as well. The clock is still going. And Baggage throws a bomb and another big football. Already it's up to 42, and Spore is just being an absolute nuisance with the brush and doesn't quite get the trade on Racer, who has a brush of their own. But crucially, it will be a good chance for them to do a counter-attack play. They've got the pity football. Ibuki inking that a little bit more turf up, having the splashdown on standby. They've got 9 climbs, 1 more will form a football, so that's 2 footballs on the field for the Drunken Sailors. That is the barrier just here to the right of us, as we're going to see 1 go down. Splash is the only one without that football. It was parked up to the left-hand side of it. If they leave it there for too long, it will be spawned, and Splash, knowing that, picks it back up and immediately throws it down so it does not give away their position too much. Baller is coming in. Flare has got to watch out here. They're being chased by Spore, and unfortunately they are going to get taken down, and Spore has broken the barrier again. Dreadnoughts have broken the barrier yet again. Blue Racer is going to try and come around Splash, trying to go a little bit aggressive, but can't get the splat. And this is working perfectly for Dreadnoughts, who finally do go down. It looks like they're going to lose the football advantage they did have, as Ibuki comes and it just drops straight back down. Going to pick up a few more clams, but crucially they need to try and score something here. Blue Racer with the brush can try and do a quick maneuver of their own, but so far with them being marked as well, and Dreadnoughts are unrelenting here, it's another splat against them, as Baggage with the aerospray just gets that little bit more consistency, that little quicker firepower, and gets the spot of their own. Ibuki chasing Redwez, but unfortunately allowed another one to slip through. I think it was Baggage this time round who breaks the barrier, takes it down to 38. Booyah Bomb, does it get a splat? Not quite. Ibuki just about surviving. Blue Racer also somehow surviving, just about. The hammer missed them, crucially then. And it means that Drunken Sailors didn't concede that many points. Blue Racer going to immediately get a football. Are they thinking about going for an attack? They are doing, and Baggage, I don't think it's going to catch them in time, so this could be a chance to score, but it's not. Baggage is able to intercept it crucially, and Drunken Sailors still cannot get on the board in any of their 3 matches so far. Baller again rolling in from Spore, who quickly drops back down. Flare can't quite hit anything with the charger. The hammer is coming in. Splashdown will try and negate it. Where has the hammer gone? It's gone somewhere. Another couple burst bombs flinging in. Phil with the squeezer, booyahing for dear life, because that's what the booyah bomb does. The more times you booyah when it's active, the quicker it will charge. They thought about going for the dunk, but Splash's bubble caught them off guard. I don't think they were quite expecting it to be there that quickly. And Drunken Sailors has a chance to potentially get themselves back into this match. Flare on the up, still can't quite get that consistent vibe going with the charger, as another push is started to come in. 1 minute left on the clock. Burst Bomb is going to force them to move with the damage taken. They still can't quite get away over their Baggage with the football. And 48 seconds left on the clock. Stingray is going to target them immediately and ensure that they are going to go down. Good use of the Stingray there from Flare. Will anybody be in position to pick up that football? I think they were. Splash does have one of their own, but crucially Phil now has a football of their own. Another disarray chant. Is this going to be an attack from the Drunken Sailors. Not on this occasion. I think Baggage just about able to protect it. Blue Racer just about gets the football. That's a brilliant move, but they didn't know. Oh, I thought that was going to be a score, and it wasn't. Dreadnoughts managed to score on the other end just in the nick of time. Oh, you hate to see that happen with 5 seconds on the clock. We will be guaranteed overtime, but that would have been an amazing moment for Drunken Sailors. Here comes the jump into the middle area. Blue Racer knows they have to score if they want to try and take anything out of this match. They've got to get on with it. And they're going to get taken down, unfortunately. I think that's going to be all they wrote. Ibuki gets the splat, but they're not going to get any further than that. And overtime will end in just a couple seconds, and they know it's pretty much over. The Ig Bush is the only one left, and Drunken Sailors could not score a point in any of their 3 matches. It's a clean 3-0 for Dreadnoughts in the end. Commiserations to the Sailors. But that's just how it goes. It's 3-0 to the Dreadnoughts after all of that. Well, that is just... It can be cruel like that. It can be so cruel like that. But it's just how it goes. It is just how it goes. You looked at what Drunken Sailors were doing, and you could see a moment was coming where they actually got the football, rescued it, and managed to run right in front of the barrier. And the second they went for the throw, they had just committed to a score on the other end, and it's just how it goes like that. It's just the look of the draw. It's just like you both have the same idea, and it's essentially who hits the barrier first. And in that occasion, it was Dreadnoughts who win the 3-0. So we are going to go ahead and head on into a voice call with Dreadnoughts and with Drunken Sailors. So let us see if they are both going to respond first and foremost. We'll get this interview done, and then we will end the stream with a special turf war match between 2 players from each team. It should be a lot of fun. So let's see if they are up for the voice call, and let's get ourselves over there.
Hello.
Hello.
Yo.
Oh, the logos didn't update. Oh, you hate to see it. Well, that's just unfortunate. That's better. There you go. Logos up to date, just a little too late, but that's okay. The names were perfectly on there. So, right, who are we?
Which one of us is Cosmos?
Huh? Oh, no, it's updated now. It's updated now. Dreadnoughts is on the left with their logo, and Drunken Sailors on the right with their logo. Okay, so who have we got from Dreadnoughts and who have we got from Sailors?
We got a couple of us here.
Oh,
Red Wes.
Hello, Red.
I'm Spore.
Spore. Alright. Hello, you two. And from Drunken Sailors, who we got?
Me and Blue should be here as well.
Yeah, I'm here.
Alright, we got Splash and we got Blue, so we got 2 from each team on this one.
We also have Phil and Baggage here. Hello.
Oh wow, we got the entirety of Dreadnoughts.
We're all here.
Everybody is here.
Da 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 da. Sorry, okay. Let's not drown out the chat with unfortunate humming of the Splash Bros stream. All right, so first and foremost, we'll say hello to the Dreadnoughts. Hello, welcome on in. Nice 3-0 victory for you 4.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No worries. How was that in the end for you? I mean, obviously, it started off relatively smoothly. You had a very quick KO with tower control, and then Rainmaker, not so quick. But they pushed you a little bit there, didn't they?
Yeah, it's a tough one, Rainmaker Mori, because it is so long from the centre of the map all the way to the podium. So there's a lot of opportunity to push back, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, they definitely showed it in for that one as well. And then with Clan Blitz, I mean, obviously you didn't see the perspective that we all saw that in, where we were literally like seconds away from seeing Drunken Sailor score, and you just beat them to it. Was that a last second decision, or was that always planned?
But we could see on the map that there was both teams who had a clam really close to the other one's basket, so we just score as fast as you can.
Yeah.
Luckily, a millisecond faster we got it.
Very much so.
You
And
gotta go fast, you know.
yeah, exactly. And I guess on the flip side of that, towards drunken sailors, I guess you must have been like, oh damn it, when that happened. Guess you must have thought that you had that.
Yeah, we just thought we got the push planned out, but as soon as our team dropped the clam, that's pretty much it. We couldn't get the clam back, and by the time I got to the basket, it was already too late. They already got to our basket first.
Oh, that is unfortunate. Like I said, it's sometimes just the way it goes, especially when it just happens in the blink of an eye. In terms of going forward, though, and obviously, it was a 3-0 defeat, but I feel like you still learn a lot from these kind of sets.
Well, the fact that our team is so rusty. We haven't played as a team at all since the UK finals.
Oh gosh, really?
Yeah, we haven't played that much at all, and since we qualified to the UK finals, which since me and Splash were the only ones at I-65, and Fly and Ibuki weren't there, so we had to get Marcus and Pixel to play in their place for I-65, and yeah, we don't have any synergy at all since then. So these drunken sailors from the last UK championship and from the ESL qualifier 2, when we have multiple game 5s, yeah, we weren't at our peak there. It was really our peak there, but we have definitely fall from grace there. But at the end of the day, we'll hope to get ourselves de-rested and hopefully come back stronger.
I hope so, and I definitely look forward to that. I mean, if you can find any kind of chance to practice between now and when the championship finals do finally come around, it'll be great, because I would definitely like to see you bring the fight back, especially in these kind of scenarios. I guess a question for the pair of you now. Obviously, we'll answer one at a time. In terms of Dreadnoughts, I mean, you can each answer it if you so wish. I kind of asked a similar question to Cosmos and to Release the Kraken just a moment ago, but what got you in to playing Splatoon competitively, both in terms of the first one and the second one?
So for me, I played Splatoon 1 very casual. I played Splatoon 1 casually, but because of the existence of the rank modes, I always wondered if there was some sort of competitive elements to the game. And it was, I think, a lot I got through into the game the same way that a lot of people got through into the game by watching some videos by that SRB2 dude.
Yeah, definitely.
Who
dude's videos so important for building the community.
Yeah, it's,
Indeed.
It's one of those things where anytime anybody mentions how what kind of tips would you take? Do you have any advice for this? And pretty much most of us will just be like, go to that SRB2 dude's channel, because he has done so many videos, both in the first game and in the second game. I think my first outing into Dude was, ironically enough, not knowing who he was in the Octoleague qualifier for the Splat-Off. Was like, we got destroyed, and then we found out why we got destroyed, because it's Dude. It's because of course it is. But yeah, the first time I watched his content, I think it was the Tear It Up series. So it's been it's been nice to watch that. And what about you from Drunken Sailors? What about you two?
I'll let Blue speak first.
Go for it.
Actually, you start first.
The good old UK way of know you.
Well, is it alright if I tell the story about how I got into Splatoon to begin with?
I mean, yeah, that's pretty much what we're asking. That's pretty much what we're asking.
It's going to be a bit of a... This is going to take a while.
I mean...
So...
That's okay, take your time.
So back when Splatoon 1 launched, I initially had no interest. I wasn't interested in Nintendo or Splatoon or anything like that.
Okay.
But at that point, I was just in a really bad place at the time. I was really upset. I'm not going to go into details.
That's fine.
But it was like it was almost like I would cry every day almost. And if anybody remembers the creatures, I used to watch a lot of YouTube videos, and one channel in particular, Dexter Manning. I started watching his Splatoon videos, and I just fell in love. I loved the aesthetics, the colors, all of it just drew me in, and I fell in love with Splatoon ever since. I ended up saving up all my money to buy a Wii U.
Nice.
With Splatoon 1 to come with it.
Good.
And then I played it for about a year, just casually. I felt like I was getting into a community. Like before Splatoon, I never got into any community whatsoever.
Yeah.
Because I just played a game, just have it like that, not really involve myself in any community. And then the Great British Splatoon came around, and I never played competitively at the time. I didn't know any competitive players, so I had to go around find people who'd be willing to play Splatoon UK champs with. Some of the people I met to try qualify with would eventually become Inc Alpha, but rest in peace, Inc. And yeah, that was my first time jumping in competitive, just purely because I loved the game of Splatoon, and my love for it just drove me further and further, and to where I am now. As I said earlier, was when I was with Inc. I then met Blue. Me and Blue met at I think it was EGX 2017 for the 2017 championship.
I think it was, because that's when we tried to team up to try and qualify the last ditch.
Yeah.
And
it was. I think that was what pushed Blue into inviting me to Drunken Sailors, because if I didn't have met him before, I think he would have probably tried to find somebody else, and I just happened to have met him at that one event. It's crazy. It's crazy how far I've gotten now, from just missing out on the semi-final of the Great British Splatoon qualifier to being at the UK Championships finals in top 6 even.
Yeah.
In 2018, it's just unbelievable.
And obviously, because I got to meet you at one of the local events for the regional qualifiers, and obviously our friendship kind of started from there as well. So I went from going against you in a 2v2 setting to try and qualify, to being in the commentary box, calling your matches, which was just it was surreal, and it was so much fun. And Blue, for you?
Well, for me, I got into Splatoon when ever since the first trailer came out, because at the time I was with a group of friends. I have since most of my friends are getting the game, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get it as well because it looks like fun. So by the time I got the game, I remember playing the first tournament I played, but I wasn't really into competitive Splatoon, was Inc or Sync. The very first Splatoon tournament, and let's just say it didn't go well at all. And then the first time I really get into competitive Splatoon was in January 2016. And the first team I played for was Dynamite, and Dynamite was a Mario Kart team, but they had their own Splatoon subdivision.
Yeah.
And I was a really cocky rookie. I always blame teammates. I always don't blame myself. And by the time I got to Inc, and I got set to Omega, and that was like, well, but that was when the time Splash was there, and I didn't know Splash until Great Bush split off. And
We
I was.
off? I don't remember. I didn't know anyone back then.
I mean, you do see my name in Discord in the Ink server.
Yeah, I did. I knew you from that at least at the time.
Yeah, so
literally, I didn't know anyone. In fact, I didn't even know who that SRB2 dude was until the Great British Split-Off, not gonna lie.
Yeah, so by the time by the time we reached the Ink, by the time we get to the Great British Split-Off, I just had a bunch of my old friends play with me who aren't who are not really big into playing Splatoon at the time. So we just teamed up and we got to the Great British Split finals, and of course I got to met Splash there, and I got to meet SRB2 there, and as quite surprised he heard of me because of the casual group I used to be a part on was the Incredibles. No, that was usually hosted by PK. So, yeah, after that, when the UK scene started to grow, and the UK Championship 2017 came, I was hoping to find people to play with. The first one, I forgot what the first one was. You just grab a bunch of teams and play randomly. But since we lost that one, the first one, I had to hopefully find another qualified again, and that's where I ran into Creme Fresh's Flair. Flair was looking for someone to duo with for the fourth online qualifier, which is the first pair to be first in a rotation will be played for Nintendo Life, and me and Flair dominated the entire rotation. We only lost like 1 or 2 games at near the end of the rotation. So I mean, if you look at, I mean, it's on YouTube. Flair has that entire set on YouTube. You can go find it. Just type Splatoon 2 Flair Blu-ray for 7. It will be right there. So we got to meet Nintendo Life, which and it was like amazing because me and Flair get to play with one of the Nintendo reviewers, and it was really a nice experience. And it was nice. We got to finish in the top 4, and it was a really pleasant experience. Like, and by the time we got to 2018 UK championships, me and Flair agreed to continue playing together if we can find 2 people, and this is where we have Ibuki or Groovy, whatever you want to call her. We got to play for us, and when we usually have Forte as our 4th, but after he left, we had to find someone, and this is where I bring in Splash because I was trying to look for someone, and since Splash were asked me if he wanted to join us, and since I see him play, I feel he has potential, so I feel like if he plays with us, it'll help him, give him confidence boost, because back then I was really good at playing brushes, because no doubt about it, you see how many moments I played with the brush. So and plus it'll be a good reason for me to carry the team because I like to show off sometimes. So yeah, that's how Drunken Sailors came to be. Which, by the way, Forte created the name, not us. So yeah, shout out to you, Forte. So we got to meet up for the EGX, let's just say we have a big moment, but we were so close. And then ESL qualifier, and we got a habit of going to game 5 non-stop. You remember that, Splash?
Sorry. I got mixed up in DMs.
Yeah, I was gonna.
ESL qualifier 2. We won our qualifier.
Oh yeah. That was just constant like reverse sweep after reverse sweep after reverse sweep.
Yeah, and that's how we ran.
It kind of became our team motto after that.
Yeah, we ran into Dreadnoughts for the first time, and let's just say that's the match.
We remember it.
Yeah, we won.
You guys beat us then.
Yeah. That's where us drunken sailors are at our peak when we are evenly matched against you. But today, you got lucky.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So we got into the UK finals, and it was an enjoyable experience. And I hope, and by the time the next UK Championship finals are like set in stone, then hopefully we'll have our rematch, and this time we will have our game 5.
And I most certainly look forward to it if that ends up being the case. Anyway, thank you very much to both Dreadnought and to Drunken Sailors. Thank you very much for coming by for
Thanks,
this.
Tamashi.
That is not a problem. Unfortunately, because of the fact that we just ran over time, we're not going to be able to do the Turf War match. So I do apologise for that. Unfortunately, that's alright. It's just sometimes how these things go, because unfortunately the streams generally go from 4 to 6, so we are going to have to wrap things up a little early, I'm afraid. So there will be no bonus Turf War match, I'm afraid, but thank you very much for coming in for the chat, and hopefully you both take care of yourselves, and I look forward to seeing what happens going forward in terms of your endeavours for the Splatoon 2 Championship.
Thanks.
Take care.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so with that out of the way, let me just bring you over here, because we do have something that I would like to now tell you. So yeah, the Turf War, unfortunately, we're gonna have to skip out on since we are over time. But it's not a problem. It's just these things can happen. You know, we all get carried away with what we talk about, and that's absolutely fine. You know, we're passionate about what we do, and you know, we all have our own stories to tell in terms of our respective games and what we want to do. But that's not a problem. So I hope you all have been having fun. Before you go away, I just want to do a couple of quick shout outs. First and foremost, like I said, that is not the one. That's the right one. So first and foremost, the Squid League is currently going on, run by Nintendo Players UK. We're currently on week 5, I do believe now, and we'll be having a stream for that later on tonight. That's I think is at 8 PM. That is on Conroe's channel. Conroe was taking part in a match today as part of a team, but he is also going to be hosting and commentating on our first match for the next week tonight, and that will be going on as well. You can find out more details at Nintendo Play UK. They have their Twitter account, and they also have their website, so you can find all the information on not just the Kraken bracket, but also the Sushi bracket. On top of that, we also have another event coming up. Now, I am part of the Women's in Esports initiative. I took part in an interview, and so this is definitely aimed at everybody in that. We have got a women-only Duo Cup event that is being run by Endgame TV over at Endgame TV 1. That is this Saturday, which is 6 PM BST, if I remember correctly. And essentially, it will be a multitude of duos who will be going together to form a full team each, and they will be doing battle. And like I said, it is a women's only competition, so it'll be an absolute treat to see. I will hopefully be providing some commentary with that as well. I'm not entirely sure what points that will be, but you get the general idea. So again, Endgame TV 1, and also if you just follow Endgame TV on the Twitter as well, you'll see more updates and information for that as well. And on top of that, Nintendo UK Versus is where to go if you would like to follow any and all updates in regarding the Splatoon 2 UK Championship and other Versus competitions that will be happening. On top of which, every Friday they also post up the plays of the week. So basically, individuals from the Splatoon 2 community who will be doing their own things, taking clips and sharing them directly onto the Twitter. The best of that bunch end up being shared on their Twitter account in a moment's list. So any and all information at Nintendo UK Versus for that. With that being said, we are coming to the end of this stream. I'd like to thank each and every single one of you for coming over. I hope you have had a lot of fun from start to finish. I know I certainly have. I hope you've been able to learn a bit more about Splatoon and how it started and where it is going in terms of the competitive scene. Hopefully you've enjoyed seeing what each team and each player is able to bring to the table. Had fun from start to finish. And yeah, thank you so much. And also a massive shout out naturally to the British Esports Association for allowing me to do this in the first place. I hope you've enjoyed it yourselves, and hopefully I get to do this again sometime soon. So with that being said, we are going to sign off. Remember to keep an eye on that donation incentive up there to try and help the National Video Game Museum. Any and all help will be greatly appreciated for it. If you want to follow anything going on here, you've got the newsletter that you can sign up to, and obviously you've got the British Esports Twitter account to check and follow as well. Thank you so much. I have been TamashiiKanjou. This girl is going to sign you off with 3 important statements. Trans rights are human rights. Black Lives Matter. And most importantly of all, stay fresh!